Hockey players and hockey families, my name is Lee Elias, and welcome to the Champion Circle powered by Daredevil Hockey. On this episode, we're privileged to have each MVP from the third leg of the Elite Prospects Cup Series, which took place on December 2nd through the 4th of 2022. That's last year already, in Boston, Massachusetts. The Elite Prospects Cup Series is a four-city tournament that has visited Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, and Boston, and we're a little over a week away from the championship round in Tampa, Florida, which will take place on January 26th through the 29th. And the series includes some of the top-ranked teams from 14U, 15O, 16U, and 18U, and we're joined by the MVPs from three of those divisions from that Boston weekend today. Let me introduce you to them. From 14U, we have forward Alex Sachek of Team Maryland. From 16U, we have forward Carter Johnson of Team Maryland. And from 18U, we have forward Max Rutkowski of the Esmark Stars. So, boys, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Congratulations on being an MVP. It's an awesome honor.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
It's my pleasure. It's my job, and it's my pleasure. And I love talking to young hockey players and making sure that we get the messages out. And that's what we try to accomplish with this show, right? It's not just about tell me about the weekend. So, Carter, I'm going to start with you. I know prior to the season, you told us your team went through a Go Ruck team building activity. Tell us about that experience and the things that you had to do.
Yeah, so a Go Ruck, well, it's just a lot of new kids on our team, kids billeting and stuff. So it was pretty much a military exercise where we pretty much walked around bonding with like heavy weights for, I think it was about 6 hours one morning. It was really, really hard and really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and stuff like that is so important. We talk about team building on the show through every episode we've done. I love that you had a military presence.
Yes.
What do you think the military brings that maybe you thought was similar to hockey, but also maybe different?
Well, the hard work, you know, how much preparation they have to put into each, like they were comparing it to like a mission, that like carrying the weights, like a mission, like data or something for them. So it's like really cool to see how they do that. Yeah. And how much preparation.
Right. I think they're the best team on the planet, man. And I love that your
Yes.
team did that. Again, team building is so important. So it also seems from what you said to us, your team does a lot of team building. It's not just this thing before the season. What else have you done, and how does that help your team throughout the season?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, a lot of new kids. So we did this thing over Halloween where you would pick someone's name out of a hat and you'd get them a Halloween costume to put on the ice a couple of days after Halloween, which is really cool. And then over Christmas, we did a like a Secret Santa white elephant, similar to that. Pick a name out of a hat, get them a gift, which was really cool.
Yeah, I think it's so important. And sometimes when we get to the elite levels, we're so focused on the hockey, which is super important. Don't get me wrong. I'm a coach. I get that. I played, but you got to have those team building events where you get to know each other and have fun with each other.
Definitely.
You're having fun. What's the point, right? Carter, again, for those of you listening, you might not see this, but Carter's in his jersey because he's actually got a game here in a few minutes. So we're going to ask him one more question and let him go because that's really important that you make it to your game on time. But one thing I wanted to ask you, man, is what is your message to younger kids that are kind of looking up to the level you're at? You know, they're playing as hard as they can. They're trying to reach it. What's your advice to them?
Yeah, some good advice for the younger kids, you know, be a good teammate, don't be selfish, and, you know, have a lot of fun playing hockey. Like whenever you go to the rink for a practice game, whatever, just enjoy your time there.
Yeah, man, I think that's actually better advice than people think. People go, it's so simple. It is. It's got to be fun, or what is the point? Carter, listen, we're going to let you go. I want to congratulate you again on being named an MVP. Like true MVP, you're ready to go again, like all of our guys here today.
Thank you for
Enjoy the
having
game
me.
today,
Yeah.
man. No,
Thank
our
you.
pleasure, buddy. Enjoy the game. We're going to keep moving here. So, Alex, I'm going to turn to you. You've been playing hockey for 10 years, started when you were 4, and you mentioned how the games at this point in your life are more exciting and challenging. So here's the question I want to ask for you, right? How have you kept that fun? Because we know that within the game, sometimes when the stakes are raised or it gets really, really hard, sometimes that's not so easy for kids. So how have you kept that fun for yourself?
Yeah, well, a lot of it is just team bonding, like in the locker rooms, locker room chats, going to games with, my teammates. I consider my teammates some of my best friends in general. And, I feel like scoring just never gets old. Scoring in games is just always fun.
Right. I agree with that. My son is becoming a goaltender, and I told him the other day, I said, I thought I would have made a good goalie. He goes, "Why didn't you play then?" I said, "Because I love scoring too much. I don't have the temperament to be in the net." One thing I want to just follow up to that, buddy, is that, I think you're making a great point that coaches need to hear, right? And we just talked about this a minute ago with Carter, that when it gets harder, I think you need more team bonding. You need more
Yeah.
experiences to bring each other together. Because again, like he said, it's a mission, right? We talked about the military. I think a lot of coaches, I shouldn't say a lot, some coaches neglect that at the highest level or the most intimidating levels, where it's like, we got to win. We got to win. So talk to coaches real quick. How you said a little bit, how imperative is it that we do more team bonding in addition to the practices and the classrooms and the video sessions and so on?
You know, with team bonding, you have to have a bonded team in order to have good players pass the puck to each other on your team. If you don't pass the puck, then you're not going to score. You're not going to put the puck in the net. So I feel like team bonding is probably one of the most important things in hockey, especially at the high levels where it doesn't happen so often.
Right, man. I'll tell you what, there's a great quote. I think it was Teddy Roosevelt said that it's amazing what happens when no one cares who gets the credit.
Yeah.
And, when you have a team at the elite level and Max, I'm going to ask you about this too in a minute. When you think about people are watching and you've got to perform, the pressure can make you make weird decisions if you're not with a group of people you don't like, right? Of like, I've got to score, not him, because that's going to help my chance. But if you get a group of boys or girls or anybody working together, trying to find that common ground, everyone will get better. Rising tide lifts all ships, right? I was going to ask you too, you're kind of alluding to it, but we asked you what helped you become an MVP. And I love this. Right away, you credited your teammates. That was the first, right away. It was just, my teammates are what made me great. You said they're a big reason why you were selected. And again, you talked about this a little bit, but dive in more. How do you and your teammates lift each other up throughout the season to learn and grow? And I'm talking about really not the easy times when you're winning, but the tough times, right? How are you there for each other that creates a winning team?
So I feel like on our team specifically, and I think this is really important on every team, I feel like there should be a healthy level of competitiveness between your teammates, not to the point where it's like you guys are getting mad at each other, but to the point where everybody wants to compete to get to do the best that they can and, get the best for the team as well. And I feel like my teammates have really helped me. I'm competing with all my teammates to try to get better, scoring, passing the puck, whatever it is.
Alex, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a fantastic answer and a really mature answer. I'll tell you a cool story that I heard recently. I remember after the Cup final last year, these articles came out about Nathan McKinnon, about how hard he is on his teammates. And the article was kind of written in a way of like, he's a jerk. And his teammates came out and said, yeah, that's exactly what we needed to win the Stanley Cup. We need the guy keeping us accountable and pushing us. And I think, what that brings me towards is that we as coaches, as players, as teams, we have to make competitiveness fun. And I think it's become scary at some points. But the truth is, at the end of the day, we should be thankful for our opponents, because if we don't have opponents, we can't play, right? But we got to be thankful for our teammates that push us, right? It's tough to be on a team when everybody's just happy and okay with performance, when you can raise each other up. So I love that you brought that up, because I think that's a hallmark of success, is that players push each other, right? And I love that you're embracing that. So young players listening, hear that the competitiveness, as Alex said, is one of the keys to success. You want that, right? You should embrace that. Max, I'm going to turn to you real quick. Again, well, not real quick. We're going to talk to you for a minute, but you're actually the second star from your division we've had on this show. We had your teammate Nathan Berlando on earlier this season in the first episode. So your team sits atop the 18U standings right now with the Junior Flyers. You're tied. I know there's a weird tiebreaker in there somewhere, but what's the mindset going into the final week, and how are you preparing as a team?
So we're preparing any way we can. I mean, we have video sessions, we have workout sessions. We're on the ice 2 times a week. I feel like, we're a really close group. Everyone likes each other. We work hard on and off the ice. Just a lot of bonding going in towards this, like just making sure we're on the same page. We're finishing our plays, everything that goes into playing hockey and playing as a team. I think that's like one of the main points going into this weekend, is just making sure that we're all together. We're all on the same page. We're ready to play.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And again, there's a reason you're hearing the audience, these players echo the same sentiments. There's a reason they're MVPs, right? You can hear it in their voices. There's a lot of similarities here, even though they're all on different teams in different divisions. Their teams stick together. They work together. They do the hard work, right? They do the video sessions. They do the practices. They compete with each other. They want to make it work. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, Max, I'm not sure how many people knew this, but you were coming off an extremely significant injury before the tournament. I think you said it was 2 weeks out is when you got activated. Tell us about the injury and how you recovered from that.
Yeah, so it was really unfortunate. So I play on a high school team, and so I was playing high school. I left practice. I left Esmart practice for it and played, and I got knocked off balance. I went to catch myself. My leg got caught underneath me, and just ankle snapped, leg snapped, ligaments torn. I had surgery the next week. I was out for. I had a fast recovery for what happened. I was out for I was like 2.5 months. But
That is
yeah,
quick, yeah.
came back in November. Cleared the walk, skated for 2-3 weeks. I had we had a few games against the New Jersey Hitmen at home. That was my first weekend back, and then the next weekend was the Boston tournament. And things happen. You never take anything for granted. You never know when something's going to be taken away from you. And I learned that, and yeah, I just took that as motivation to push forward, push even harder, and it wasn't fun sitting out watching my team play, but it is what it is, and I'm back now 100%. So
yeah, look, I'll tell you, buddy, that who you are is not what happens to you, it's how you respond to it. And I think the fact that you got named MVP here, and I know your team helped you with that, says a lot about you. Now, I'll tell you a quick story too. You're in your senior year or junior year?
I'm in my junior year.
My senior year of high school, I tore my left shoulder in a high school game. Same thing. I was playing club hockey, and I tore my shoulder. My season ended, and I remember it was a situation where people were telling me, well, "That's it. You're not going to make it." And keep in mind, it's my senior year, so scouts, colleges, gone. Yeah. And I just refused that outcome. I worked my butt off. Again, I had a quick recovery because when you're 17, 18 years old, you can recover pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I pushed through, right? And I was lucky and very fortunate enough to have a life in hockey. So I wanted to highlight your injury, not because it's, it was a high school game. It doesn't matter how it happened. You said that, right? It's going to happen. It's you didn't let that stop you. And look, now you're on here with me, which is weird, but you're here, right? Making this work. And you alluded to something else that I want to talk about. And Alex, we can talk about this with you too, but one of the things that's facing young athletes now is this pressure, this mental fitness, mental health pressure. And I want to get some advice out here for the young athletes listening. But at this tournament, all right, the Elite Prospects Cup Series, there's high profile people watching all the time. Everyone's trying to get to the next level, whether it's graduating to the next age group or, Max, in your case, you're probably looking beyond high school hockey at this point, right? So what's your advice on how to compartmentalize that pressure and stay mentally focused? Because again, we're seeing this all over the place, and I don't mind making it the elephant in the room out there. Kids are succumbing to that pressure in a lot of different ways. Some of them very, very, very badly, right? So what is your advice to someone who's maybe feeling that pressure right now, that's thinking, oh, their scouts aren't watching me, oh, my teammates are getting looked at and I'm not? How do you push through that and get to the next level?
Yeah, so you always have the mindset of just being a team player. If you're not getting your shifts, if you're getting short shifted, if you think you're not getting enough playing time, if you're on the bench, support your teammates. Encourage them, give them like good criticism on like what you think they could do better because you're watching it on the bench. I feel like it's like a big issue with like scouts, and but put that aside. Just play your game. Just focus on what you can control, and those good things will happen to you if you just keep on working hard, 110% on and off the ice. Keep have a good diet, eat healthy, work out. When you're at practice, show up to practice. Talk to your teammates. If they have opportunities that you don't have, maybe ask them questions about what they do that you might not do. You know what I mean? You just gotta be in the right mindset with it. Don't ever get down on yourself. Just always gotta encourage yourself because anything can happen at any time.
It's a fantastic answer, man, a real mature one too. And I think you're right. You said in there, you got to focus on what you can control. And I think that's the focal point of what you said, right? Is you can't let these distractions, whether it be scouts, and that's what I was hoping to draw out of you, scouts or anything else, bother you. You have your time and your shifts and your opportunities, and you can only focus on them. I think also, and again, Alex, I'll throw it to you with the same question. I think it's also important that, look, you're both hockey players, you're great hockey players, but you're not only a hockey player, right? You have families, you have friends, you have other interests. I'm sure hockey is at the top of the list. but it's not the only thing that defines you. Is Max, I'll go to you and then I'll go to Alex. Is that true? I mean, do you have other things in your life that you're proud of and that you're passionate about?
Yeah, I have a lot of things that I'm proud and passionate about. You know, obviously my family, God, everything. I'm thankful for everything. I actually own a few businesses, so I love.
Wow.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
a landscaping business. I also sell shoes, so I like to donate some of my profits back to charity. I mean, I lost my dog to cancer last year, so it hurt for a while, but everything I do is mostly for him. The other week, donated a lot of I went to Walmart, got a bunch of dog toys, dog treats, dog food, and donated them to shelters around the area just to help out in that way. So I have a lot of passions that just keep me going, not just hockey.
That's fantastic. I didn't know all that about you, man. I think that's amazing. Little entrepreneur over there,
Oh, yeah.
making that work. We'll come back to that. Alex, and again, not that you have to follow that up, but what about you? Like outside of hockey, I mean, do you have other interests? Do you have other passions in your life?
Yeah, so obviously family and God for me as well, just like Max. But I also play instruments. Like I play the guitar. I just picked it up like recently, around half a year ago. I'm becoming better and better at it, but hockey's still at my top of my priority. I also do go to the gym a lot, mainly to work on hockey type exercises, but I do strength exercises as well.
Yeah, I think the key, boys, with both of you is this, and this is what I want our audience to understand. You're both great people. You're both great young men, and you're looking beyond the game. Now, again, I'm with you. I love hockey. I still play hockey, but my point is, and you're proving this, is that you are well-rounded young men that are pursuing lots of things, and hockey infiltrates everything, right? Like when you Max talk about business, I'm sure all the hard work into hockey goes right back into that business in terms of how to put the time in. And Alex, anybody who plays an instrument knows that you have to practice, you have to put the time in. But the point is, for the audience listening, if you're trying to get to the next level, if you want to be an MVP like these guys, right? Got to trust your teammates. Number one, right? They both said that. Two, hockey is a big part of your life. It's not the only part of your life, right? It's not exactly who you are. It's something you do. It's a big part of you, but who you are is a good person. Both these guys and Carter, who had to leave, good people first, which in turn makes them great hockey players. So if you gotta make sure you're looking at this from a well-rounded point of view when you want to approach getting to the next level. And then I want to echo again what Max said about focus on what you can control. That is such great advice, Max. And I think at young ages sometimes it's tough to realize that. But it just comes down to asking yourself that question in any situation: what do I have control over right now? And if the answer is not much, then focus on the things that you do have control over. All right. Last questions before I let you go. You're going to Tampa. All right. You're going to Tampa in January. That's a pretty nice place to be, depending on where you are in the world right now. It's pretty much cold everywhere else. So tell me, Alex, what are you most excited about for being in Tampa? It can be hockey, it can be the weather, whatever you want. What are you most excited about?
I'm excited about the new rinks that I'm going to get to check out, some of the restaurants. I'm excited about the warm weather. I don't like the cold that much. It's nice to have cold, but not for that long. After Christmas, I feel like it becomes old. But in Tampa, I've never been there before personally. I'm excited about the rinks mostly because in Boston there was some very nice rinks, and I enjoyed that a lot.
I'll tell you what about Tampa. I've been down there. It's a fun hockey area, and it's going to be almost like a backwards world because Boston, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, those are like hockey places, right? And you go to Tampa, you're like, oh, this is gonna be different. Now, it's a hockey place, but it's just really hot. And you're on the Gulf of Mexico. Max, how about you, buddy?
Oh yeah, I'm super excited. Actually making a little vacation out of it. We're driving down to Georgia first, few days, stay there, enjoy the nice weather, and then drive down to Tampa and get to work. But yeah, living in Pittsburgh, it's once it hits November till
Yeah.
February, it's cold, and it's cold, like really cold. So can't wait to wear some shorts and t-shirts hopefully, and enjoy that weather down there. It'd be fun.
I look, I'm from Philadelphia. I always say Steel City's always cold, but that might just be my personal bias, growing up in this area. But yeah, no, listen, guys, we're going to enjoy Tampa late January. I'm going to be down there too. Make sure you come up and say hello. The other thing too is enjoy it, because then afterwards we're in February, and wherever you are in the United States, it's not south of the Mason-Dixon line. It's going to be hella cold because that's how February always is. But guys, I want to thank you both for being here, and Carter, who had to leave. You guys are fantastic guys. Congratulations on the MVP. And I'm going to close this out, but I want to say thank you both for being here. Great answers today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
That's our pleasure, guys. So, look, he said it. The championship round is in Tampa. It's next on the schedule for all of our guests and their teams. That round will take place again the 26th through the 29th of January, after which we'll return for a final episode with MVPs from the tournament. Remember, you can learn more about the Elite Prospects Cup at cupseries.eliteprospects.com. One more time, cupseries.eliteprospects.com. For all of us here at the Champion Circle, thanks for watching. And for all the teams competing, we want to wish you the best in the next level. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Champion Circle, powered by Daredevil Hockey. Take care, everyone. Have a great night and have happy hockey.